President Roosevelt in 1942 loved going out on the floating White House, which was the presidential yacht, manned by Navy sailors. The photo on the right is the presidential yacht USS Potomac today. It's a public museum in the port of Oakland, California. But he loved going out and getting away from the White House. And during the war years, when it wasn't a good idea to go out on the water due to aerial threats and threats by sea, he asked his staff, can you please find me a place where I can go to get away, especially in the summers, from the heat and humidity to deal with my asthma, and a place where I can go, a quiet respite nearby the White House that I can use as my retreat. Recall in the late 30s, after the Hoover administration and Roosevelt's New Deal, bringing the country back to work after the Depression, he created, part of the New Deal was the WPA, the Work Progress Administration, later renamed the Work Projects Administration. And part of that was the Civilian Conservation Corps. Much of their work was putting 18 to 35-year-old men back to work building parks, public roads, recreational demonstration areas around the country, plus putting money and reserves into the federal banking system. One of the Conservation Corps camps they built was Catoctin, called the Catoctin Recreational Demonstration Area, located in Thurmont, Maryland. Thurmont is just north of Frederick, up 270 US 15, okay? And the staff found 3 locations in the nearby area, and this was one of them, called High Catoctin Camp Number 3. Roosevelt visited in July of 1942, was enamored with it, saw that it could support him during the summer. It wasn't winterized at this point. And with some of these original cabins still in place at Camp David today, remodeled over the years, he coined the term, my Shangri-La. Where did the term Shangri-La come from? He was quoting the novel Lost Horizon by John Upton. And Shangri-La there is a utopian society, a mystery place of intrigue and getaway. And again, most people didn't know, you didn't get around easily in the 40s. We didn't have the internet and all these great access tools we have today. He said, this is my Shangri-La. This is my getaway. And he first visited it in July of 1942 and continued to go throughout the summer months, principally, both by himself, with his guests, and principally with Winston Churchill on 2 occasions. The retreat today, though, is known as Camp David, and it's a Navy facility. Why? It's a Navy facility because when Roosevelt took the sailors off of the presidential yacht and they went with him to be the stewards and caretakers, and he got some Marines from 8th and I Barracks in Washington, D.C. to guard it, that's where the U.S. Navy, Department of the Navy, kind of inherited. The command reports to the White House Military Office. They're in the East Wing of the White House. They support the president, moving him around the world. That includes Air Force One, Marine One, the Helicopter Squadron, Camp David, the White House Communications Agency, the White House Transportation Agency, the White House Mess, the White House Medical Unit, special programs, et cetera, et cetera. These are the uniformed personnel, civilian men and women, over 2,000 that support the presidency, behind the scenes, moving him around the world, wherever he goes, whoever he engages with. The Navy has Camp David. So it's an appropriated budget line in U.S. Navy appropriation to fund and maintain Camp David.